All right, I'm ready. You ready? Let's do this shit. I think I used this song before a long time ago. I like it though. All right, brother. The time is here. Are you ready?
Always ready.
That's it. What's up, people? Annibal here, your host. You are watching Dreams to Reality podcast, and this is episode 31. Today, I got a very special guest. He's actually a longtime friend that I haven't seen or talked to in probably over 8 years now. He is the CEO and founder of Always Ready Meals, which he started over 7 years ago, very humbly in a tiny little kitchen at his place. And today he has a very successful business that's booming. He's got his storefront in Costa Mesa. Website is up and running. He's got a plethora of athletes and sponsors that he's working with. And I'm really excited to hear his journey of how he got to where he's at and what he's been through. So I'm sure you guys are going to be entertained, and I'm sure you're going to learn a lot of great wisdom that'll help you along in your journey. So please help me welcome Alex Rosales. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. How's your day been today?
Pretty good.
Yeah. What does your day-to-day look like now with your business?
It's a lot different than before. Now I have a storefront.
Yeah.
The city of Costa Mesa. So we're running that Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Weekends off. But a lot different than before having the storefront, because before it was something that I only did on weekends.
Yeah.
So would do everything on Sundays, deliver Sunday night, and then it was only a once in a week.
Oh, shoot. So you would cook everything on one day?
Yep.
Oh, wow. So now how are you having your employees work like a full-time?
Yeah, now we're at the store Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
The location is meant to be a restaurant.
Okay.
So an actual storefront.
Yeah.
But I've only been utilizing the place as a kitchen, kind of like a ghost kitchen.
Yeah.
So we should be opening up to the public sometime this year.
Oh, wow. So it's going to be like a full-on restaurant in the future as well.
So the goal is to have you come in.
Yeah.
You can pick food takeout.
Yeah.
We deliver to your doorsteps. And then you can kind of come in. I want to make it like a lounge.
Wow.
Where we host fights, host events, and just have, anybody that wants to come in, try out all the variety of food that we do.
That's freaking awesome.
Think of like the concept has always been like a Chipotle. So pick three. It's very simple. Pick a protein, carb, veggie. Yeah. So that's kind of what I want to have at the shop. Yeah. And then you can come in. It's not like a one-time thing. You can come in Monday through Friday. Yeah. You can come pick up breakfast, lunch, dinner.
That's awesome.
So,
man.
And then I want to have like protein shakes, juices, things like that. So things that I've never done in the past because I didn't have access to the commercial kitchen 24/7. Yeah. So everything changes now because of that.
It sounds like you put a pretty penny into this investment.
Yeah.
You got a full-on kitchen. I know those commercial kitchens are not cheap.
Yeah, I've been looking for a kitchen forever. Yeah. But the opportunity never presented itself. Yeah. And this opportunity came, and we're working on the deal for a few months. Yeah. And it's in Costa Mesa, right behind John Wayne Airport. Okay. So it's pretty awesome because I always vision being close to the beach. Yeah. And I love planes. And literally
at the airport next to the beach.
Literally outside, you walk outside the store. Yeah. And you can see the planes taking off and landing. So
that's freaking sick.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. This podcast is called Dreams to Reality, brother. And you're making your dreams into a reality.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of crazy because like I said, when I opened up the show, I met you. It was probably about 8 years ago, and you were working at Gold's Gym. And yeah. I don't remember if I got the membership from you, but I remember I met you there. Yeah. At the gym. And then I knew at that time that you were doing meal prepping, but it wasn't like a full-on business. I think you were just for yourself, your friends, you would do it because I had you on Facebook and I had you on Instagram back then. And then you came into my gym because I was actually working at 24 Hour Fitness at the time, and you got a membership at my gym. Yeah. Yep. And we would just see each other in the gym, and we would chit chat here and there. And then we kind of both went on our own life journeys, and come full circle. 8 years later, I was at the Spar Star event on January 7th, and I had been working with Star and some of their athletes that had come on the podcast. I put together on a sit-down interview between the main event. I'm actually now doing the social media marketing for one of their top fighters, Tony Cortez, and I'm going to be actually proposing some business plans with Star as well. And I that's where I saw you again. You know, I saw Always Ready Meals, and I was like, I think I know who owns that company. Because I remember seeing you from time to time on social media, and I was like, oh, I think that's that guy Alex. And sure enough, you know, it was you. Yeah. And it was kind of cool that we had both of our logos on the cage that night. You know, mine was on the red corner, and yours was on the blue. Yep. You know, even though you're the red.
I was a little bummed about that. I was like, why didn't they put me on the red corner?
I know, like that's your color. Mine's like a little orange, you know, it's not really red. I could have gone on either one.
No, but it was awesome, man. Yeah. I mean, watching that again, how we were talking before we got started, just the journey, you know, how you go on, you kind of went right, I went left. Yeah. And then what are the odds, you know, years later, same octagon, your logo and mine are in there, man. It's amazing.
So that's what I want to really get into is kind of see, you know, how you went from, you know, just an idea of, you know, making some extra money, starting a small business while you were working at the gym. And then now to it being, I mean, you have employees. Like you said, you hired up to 10 employees. You have a storefront. You've invested so much energy, time, and just passion into this project that is now something that's successful and something that's, you know, giving you the fruits of your labor, you know. And most people don't usually get to that point. They usually quit at one point. So whenever I see someone that I personally know, like, damn, this food just like from nothing, he created something. I love the creation story. You know, what was the cause? What, you know, what did you go through? And you know, what wisdom do you have? Because I'm on the same journey. I always want to become better. I always want to do more. I always want to surround myself with people that are thinking positively and thinking about giving and creating and doing more. And as you start to collaborate and surround yourself with like-minded people, you expand. You know, so I want to surround myself with people that are going somewhere because I want to go somewhere. I don't want to stay behind. I want my business to flourish. So I'm willing to, you know, network with people and give and give and give and give. And I know the law of the world, eventually you will receive. Yeah. You know, so let's get into that. You know, so from the time that I met you in the gym, you know, how did you get to where you're at now? Or, you know, I guess start from the beginning.
Yeah. So, I mean, the beginning of Always Ready Meals, you know, we go back to 2014, 2015. Yeah. Where I was just cooking meals for myself. You know, back then I was super shredded.
So, yeah, I remember you were like freaking, like, I couldn't really tell when you had shirts on. Yeah. I remember I would see you post like, holy fuck, this was ripped as shit.
Yeah. No, I was in shape. I mean, gym was life. Yeah. You know, I was working at the gym. Yeah. So I didn't really have like a long-term goal or long-term vision. And so I would work out 2-3 times a day. Yeah. So I always had like good work ethic. But again, I was in the gym all the time. So I had the opportunity to cook my own meals and look shredded, you know, and it was something that long term, it led to me thinking, man, like I really enjoy my own food. Yeah. And I had a buddy of mine, his name is Josue, who's a truck driver. Yeah. And I would always post selfies, like you said, my abs, me working out.
Your meals that you cooked.
Yep. I post all the meals. Yeah. And my friend said, hey, man, like, why don't you cook for me? You know, I'm a truck driver. I don't have time. And, you know, I'll pay you for it. Yeah. So that was the first time that somebody said the word pay. Yeah. And it just caught my attention. Yeah. But at the time I saw it as, okay, I'm already doing this for myself. Right. I'm investing the time. Yeah. And I'm spending money on it. And when he said pay, I said, well, if he pays me, you know, with that money, they'll pay for my food. Yeah. You know, and so it's a win-win. Yeah. That's kind of how I saw it. Like, I'm already doing it. Yeah. So I said, yeah, for sure. How much? And he said, I'll give you $5 a meal. Yeah. This was 2015. Okay. So $5 a meal. A lot
more back then.
So back then I would sell $5 meals. Yeah. So I would sell 20 meals for $100. Yeah. It was, I mean, it was a deal. Yeah. And I didn't know how to, honestly, I have no cooking experience whatsoever.
I was going to ask, like, do you have any culinary background
or anything like that? None at all. I would cook chicken. rice, and veggies.
Yeah.
That was it. I think I did potatoes here and there.
Yeah.
And then I started to add like the ground turkey.
Yeah.
But that was all I ever cooked for me prior to starting this. So I would always cook my own food over the years.
Yeah.
Being inside the gym and just eating healthy. It was always like a lifestyle for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how, fitness brings so many people together.
Yep, absolutely.
I feel like if you don't ever really challenge yourself and see what's the best shape you could ever get in your life, it's a great way to learn discipline, and it's a great way to just live a healthy, positive life, because if you're not working out, you're not eating right, you're just, going with the flow of things, you're gonna look really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I've been down that road where I eat like shit, drinking, on the weekends and just partying and, working out here or there. And next thing you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, shit, what the hell happened to me?
Yeah.
And then the hardest part to me, especially, has always been the nutrition. I love working out, dude. I love lifting weights. I like working out. But, when it came to the food, it was always trouble for me. One, I hate cooking, 2, I didn't know, what to cook. And 3, it was very easy for me to just go out and eat somewhere else.
Yeah.
So to have a meal prep, you started off just doing your own food, I think that's how a lot of people start their small businesses. They do something that they're good at, something that they have passion for. And then an opportunity arises where like, hey, I could probably make some income from here. And then from there, it just kind of naturally flows, but to turn it from that, simple business into what you have now, which is a legit brand, that's a whole nother ballpark, so I see your company, Always Ready Meals, as a big brand. You have your color palette, you have your design, you have your food that, it tastes like your food. No other food's going to taste like yours. And you have a legit business, so I'm sure there was probably some people along your way that might have helped you or guided you or do you have a business partner or do you do everything yourself?
No, I've always done everything myself. There's been a lot of people along the journey that, wanted to partner up.
Yeah.
We, kind of deals up in the air. But at the end of the day, nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
I would always kind of just step back. I had my family that would always kind of give me advice.
Yeah.
And just say, just do it on your own. You don't need to partner up with anybody.
Yeah.
It's always best to do it on your own. So I've always stayed away from partnerships.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was just kind of like a gut feeling.
Yeah.
I've always been open-minded about it. But I think people get excited about the idea of everything going on, but never truly somebody that I felt that was fully committed to the vision and my long-term goal for Always Ready Meals.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So you had a lot of insight, into the future of what you wanted.
Yeah.
So it's important to have the long-term vision of what you want for your business and for your life, and to just go every single day hard to accomplish that. The problem with most people is when they start a small business, they don't really have the long-term play, the long-term vision in mind. They're just trying to make the next dollar. They don't understand the concept of building a strong foundation, building a brand, and building a business. There's a difference between being self-employed, and then having a business.
Yeah, huge. That's actually a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I believe, want to be self-employed.
Yeah.
But it's not just, hey, I'm going to do this business and call it a day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of back end things that go into it.
Yeah.
And, like I shared with you, it's things that I've been learning along the journey.
Yeah.
A lot of people come to me for advice, for help, people that want to start meal prep companies.
Yeah.
And, they'll throw like 20 questions at me. But a lot of those questions, I had to learn through the journey.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I said, hey, I'm going to start a meal prep company and I knew everything day one.
Yeah.
There's things even till today that I'm learning.
Yeah.
Especially now with like a storefront, things with the city, different types of insurances and licenses that you need. Taxes. Yep. So there's
permits.
And that stuff is a headache.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt, but everything else outside of that is rewarding.
Yeah.
Changing lives.
Yeah.
Helping people. A lot of people come to me that are going through things in life. you know, a divorce, broke up with a girlfriend, somebody that maybe was shredded back in the day, but they lost the passion for fitness. And they kind of lose themselves through the journey. And so people express themselves because when people come to me, I don't want to sell them meals. That's not my goal. My goal is to make an impact, to show them that I am here more than just a meal prep company. I'm here as a friend. Actually, I don't know if you've seen, but I call everybody the ARM family. And it's something that I started, years ago, because at some point in my life through this journey, I felt like I was very alone. And I felt like even my own family wasn't there for me. So instead of, throwing a pity party or becoming a victim, I said, well, how can I fix this? How can I make myself not feel this way? So I wanted to create my own family, because I knew that if I knew I could do something about it. So I started calling people family, because people would come to me with all their problems, all their issues that they would have at home. So it led into like not only giving you a service for food and helping you reach your health and fitness goals, but at the same time, you know that, hey, like Alex cares, because I'm always asking people, I'm always following up like, hey, how's your week? How's your day? How's the food? Do you need anything? I'm always reminding people like, hey, if you need anything, I'm a call away. I'm a text message away. I'm always here for you. Again, because I think through the journey, I was also dealing with things that at times I felt alone. I felt confused, felt lost, and there was nobody coming to the rescue. So me interacting with individuals more so than just trying to make money, always helped me keep moving forward as well, because I knew that I wasn't alone. I knew that there was other people that were going through things in life. And so, yeah, man, it's become a community of people, individuals, kids, children ages 2 and up can have the meals.
Wow.
So that is something that
like little babies on meal prep.
Yeah. And again, the focus was always for everybody to enjoy it, a family. So I'm pretty big on family. And I have a lot of relationships with a lot of my clients. They're not just normal clients, as clients that I know their lifestyle. I know what they go through. I know what they do for work. And then we're able to build relationships. I gain their trust. And they open up, and it's awesome, because again, it reminds you that you're not alone. Being self-employed, I think it's a very lonely road that a lot of people don't simply will never understand, because they're not in our shoes. And so you have to deal with a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of things that I think most business owners don't talk about. I think a lot of business owners talk about the success and what to do and how to become successful. They talk about the glory days, once they've already made it, but they don't really dig deep into how you feel as a person when you feel like quitting, when you feel like giving up, when you feel like throwing in the towel, when things aren't going your way, not only for your business, but at the same time as a human being. At the end of the day, you're a human being. And you have a personal life as well.
It's interesting that, everything you're saying, I resonate with 100%, and it's no, of course, most businesses fell within the first 2 years. I think it's like 90% of most businesses fell within the first 2 years. And the ones that survive, I think like 50% of those fell within like the next year or so. So being in business or trying to go after any goal that's, worthy and lofty, like a big goal, you're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to go through failure. You're going to go through suffering. You're going to go through pain. You're going to go through joy. You're going to go through the plethora of emotions. And you have to be emotionally strong and wise. And you have to learn how to, even in the darkest times, find inspiration, find energy. Because when you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're anxious, a business deal goes wrong, you have no money, you're struggling. When you're depressed, you don't feel like doing shit. You just want to lay in bed and, lick your wounds and stuff. And you want to find the easy way out. But I realize that the answer is in the grind. The answer is in the pain. It's in the suffering.
Everything you just explained, I call it mental toughness. You know, anybody can do anything when they're happy, when they're in a good mood, when things are flowing, when everything is going good.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to be enthusiastic about things when things aren't going well.
Yeah.
When you're sad, when you're depressed, when, you know, when the business is low, when something tragic happens in your personal life.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, you have to be mentally tough every single day. You know, every single day is a fight, you know, fight ready.
A lot of shirt, by the way, brother.
Yeah, a lot of people think that, you know, the fight ready is like a fighter.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people also think that I only work with fighters. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the fight ready is simply just every single day life is a fight.
Yeah.
And if you don't show up, life is going to beat you up.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to dig deep and truly find that mental toughness that is going to keep you going on the days that you don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, eating healthy. You know, we're human beings. Yeah. So I don't preach a diet. I like to more so say like it's a lifestyle.
Right.
Because I believe that you can get on a plan Monday through Friday, follow the plan. And if you are, you know, if you show up to the gym, if you're eating your meals Monday through Friday, enjoy your weekends. You know, you're a human being. There's nothing wrong with having a beer, having a drink, having pizza, whatever your favorite food is.
Yeah.
But I think majority of the people don't want to put in the work.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to enjoy the journey. You have to enjoy whether it's losing weight, gaining muscle. It's very difficult to show up every single day.
Yeah.
You know, again, because, you know, maybe you're in the gym for a month and you're not seeing results. You get sick, you get an injury or whatever, you know, so that's when you got to truly dig deep and be mentally tough and just continue to move forward, continue to show up. A lot of the times when I don't feel like working out, honestly, and I'm like thinking about it for like 2 hours, those workouts always tend to be the best ones.
Yeah.
Because you feel so accomplished once you show up and you put in the work, you know? Yeah. And so I think you have to hold yourself accountable. You know, definitely. Accountability is good. And being mentally tough, again, being a business owner, I think it's not hard. It's not easy. But I'll give you an example. For the last 7 years, any time that somebody places an order, it's there. There's zero excuses whatsoever as to why I don't execute on what I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we are where we are with Always Ready Meals, because regardless of anything going on with the business or my personal life, I never made an excuse for this to continue to move forward. And it's extremely hard. It's very hard. And again, you just have to constantly show up every single day. And I think when you have that in mind, maybe write it down, put it like by your bed or, you know, at your desk, your computer, is showing up every single day long term.
Yeah.
I mean, here we are 7-8 years ago, later, bro, 7 or 8 years later. And we're having this conversation, which honestly, to me, it's surreal. It's just crazy to think.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Because you know what? I think like, damn, imagine us in 7-8 years from now.
Exactly.
It's going to be on another level.
And I think that's what it is. It's playing the long term. A lot of people want like the overnight success.
Yeah.
You know, I always wanted Always Ready to be where it's at today.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have more dreams and goals towards that.
Yeah.
But, you know, 7 years ago, if you asked me, there's no way that I would have been able to put in the work, especially mentally, to be where I'm at. But every time something happens, you just learn that if you continue to show up, you become more ready, more prepared. You know, and that's what Always Ready. That's what Always Ready is, the ability to prepare yourself for everyday life.
I love it, man.
So if you prepare, if you do the work before the big test, before the podcast, before the big lights, you will be successful. Yeah. You're going to have to go through a lot of bumpy roads, but eventually you'll get there.
Yeah, that's beautiful. There's so many golden nuggets that you just laid out that it might go over people's head if it's not really explained. Like, you know, like you talk about just like in the nutrition, how, you know, 5 days a week you eat your meal plan. They call that the 80-20 rule. Yep. You know, if you're doing good things for the majority of the time, you can have that one cheat meal, you can have that one rest day. You actually need it, you know, to refuel sometimes. And you know, you're talking about building relationships versus being transactions. You know, the problem with long-term success in business is that people look at others as transactions, as money, and not as a human being that has emotions and has feelings and has a life and has, you know, insecurities and has, you know, all these different things that we all share, so when you build relationships, you get repeat customers, you get repeat business, and you get referrals.
Yeah.
You get people like, man, Alex is awesome. He not only does he cook my meals, but he's a great guy. He's very inspiring and motivating me. He holds me accountable. I worked in a gym for like 10 years, dude. I was a sales manager. I was a personal trainer. And, first thing when I met someone is I wanted to get to know them. I wanted to build rapport with them. I wanted for them to know that I cared about why they were in the gym. I want to find out, why are you here?
Yeah.
I want to get in shape. Oh, everybody wants to get in shape.
Mm-hmm.
There's something else there's a reason why you're here. I want to lose weight. Everybody wants to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight?
Yeah. The why, digging into the why,
exactly.
There's something more than just that.
And if you don't tap into it, that person, you're doing them a disservice, and they're probably not going to accomplish their goal because they don't have a reason to go past the hard part. That mental toughness, they're not gonna develop that muscle, that mental toughness muscle, if they don't know their why they're doing what they're doing. So it could be a lady that comes in and says, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to lose 30 pounds. Like, why? Like, well, my husband cheated on me and left me for some younger girl that was in shape, and I'm completely out of shape. I had 4 kids, I'm insecure. People are not going to share this stuff with you if they don't trust you.
Yep.
If they don't like you, they don't trust you, I ain't going to tell you about, your body, your money, and your religious beliefs. You hold on to those very tightly unless you trust the person.
Yeah.
If you trust the person, you will share with them what you're feeling because you feel comfortable that they're here to help you. So same thing that I do with every single one of my clients. I need them to know that I care about them. And I'm here to provide value to them. So like I said, you have to build relationships with people, in order to have long-term success. And I feel like that's something that you're really good at. Is the relationship building part, building trust. Because I see your Instagram, you have bunch of different athletes that are sponsored by Always Ready Meals. How did you get into that? How did you start? Did you just go and message people on Instagram, or is this from your natural market of people that you already knew from the gym, or how did that happen?
So my goal from the start, again, how I told you, there was a point in my life where I just felt very alone, like nobody cared. It was always to not feel that way. So create a community, a family, a brand, and show people that I care.
Yeah.
If nobody in my life showed me at the time that they cared about me, I wanted to make sure that I made an impact and showed others that I care about them.
Yeah.
So I always focused on taking care of people because I knew long term, if I take care of people, they would take care of me in the end. Yeah. So I think that's always a good thing as well. When you start a business, a lot of people want to make money right away.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case. There's been a lot of years where maybe I made no money.
Yeah.
But I knew that I needed to continue to show up, continue to take care of people. Yeah. And again, eventually building good relationships with people. And in the end, it would always pay itself forward.
Yeah.
So, all these, honestly, all these athletes, I actually have a friend, Jacob Parga, who is a marketing director for a big agency in the UFC.
Oh, nice. And
he brought this opportunity to me back in 2018.
Yeah.
We were actually emailing back and forth. And he brought up the word sponsorship.
Yeah.
Which is a word that a lot of people use. I don't like that word, and I'll tell you why. But he was very persistent. Yeah. With like, hey, I have some athletes. Would you be able to sponsor them?
Yeah.
And at the time, I wasn't thinking further than just like a sponsorship, and I didn't really see value in that.
Yeah.
I felt like I was just maybe starting off, and I wasn't in a place to be giving away free product.
Right.
Pretty much. But he was very persistent, and then I actually ended up tearing my Achilles tendon in 2018 for the second time.
Damn.
And I posted on social media. Does anybody have a doctor that they can refer me to?
Yeah.
So he hit me up right away, and he said, hey, why don't you go to our doctor? It's located in Orange County, and they'll take care of you.
Yeah.
So when I went to go see this doctor, OC Fight Docs, Dr. Kessler, it's in Orange County. That's when so he takes care of a lot of UFC athletes. And I was going to rehab for my Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
And I was sitting next to like Chito Vera, who's a pretty big star in the UFC now.
Yeah.
Alex Perez, Erica Esparza.
Yeah.
And so all these big names now in the UFC, but this was, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm getting rehab on my Achilles, and these people are just chilling next to me.
Yeah.
So back then, to me, I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
And again, that door opened up. So I started working. I think the first athlete was Christos Gallegos.
Yeah.
I think that's his last name. But he's still in the UFC. Mm-hmm. We started doing meals for him, and I never met him. I never showed up. At the time, I didn't even like to show my face.
Yeah.
So I didn't really talk a lot about Always Ready meals, and I would have delivered to their doorsteps, and have them post here and there, and that was it.
Yeah.
So that was the first opportunity, and that kind of went away. And for about a year, there was no more opportunities as far as MMA or the UFC.
Yeah.
And so I was pretty bummed about it, because I was like, man, like I slipped on that. I kind of slept on it.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for it. So I had a year to kind of take notes and think about, okay, I'm not going to put myself down about it. It is what it is. It happened. Yeah. But the next time that it comes, I'll be sure to be ready for that, always ready. So it's crazy, the name of the company, Always Ready, because it's actually being ready. It's something that is very hard to do.
Yeah.
And again, I told you that I've been I've been asked to be on a lot of podcasts, but I always turned them down, because I felt myself that I wasn't capable of speaking about being always ready. So along the journey as well, mentally, physically, I've been able to understand exactly what that was, because maybe along the journey, I didn't really know what it was, And so being always ready, again, the ability to prepare yourself for everyday life, and just showing up every single day.
Yeah.
So another opportunity came. And then what really opened up the doors in the MMA world was Chris Cyborg.
Yeah.
So, no, I never really DM'd these people. I never, I always felt like just do what you do, which is you make good food.
Yeah.
You take care of people, and whoever needs it will always come to you.
Yeah.
I did show up to a lot of gyms all over SoCal. And, some gyms all the gyms, by the way, are very different.
Yeah.
So there's, a different chemistry in all of them, different types of athletes.
Yeah.
Some are more family oriented. Others are very brutal. Yeah. There's others that are not welcoming at all, actually.
Yeah.
And you show up and they're just kind of like, hey, you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So I never took that personal, and I just constantly kept showing up.
Yeah.
And I think at the time, maybe they're business owners, the owners of the gyms.
Yeah.
Maybe they were like, oh, it's just some other kid that's coming by and no big deal.
Yeah.
But I kept doing what I needed to do, kept doing the work. So Chris Cyborg came. She actually DM'd the Always Ready Meals page.
Yeah.
And it took me a week to reply. So
did you know who she was?
I knew who she was. Okay. I knew that she was.
Was she a champ at that time?
I believe for Bellator. So she had already left UFC.
Yeah.
I remember watching her fight, but again, I wasn't really into UFC.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I watch or look forward to, but when she reached out, it was kind of like, oh my God, like Chris Cyborg, So this was in 2020. So, fast forward to now, if anybody reaches out, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I walk through the door. I'm always ready. Yeah. Back then it was still, I myself as a person was still trying to find who I was.
Yeah.
Because through the journey of Always Ready Meals, I lost myself, so I needed to constantly work on myself as well.
Yeah.
Work on the business. But when she came was when the doors opened up, because she's a legend.
Yeah.
So, if Chris Cyborg is eating Always Ready Meals, everybody wants to eat Always Ready Meals, right?
Yeah,
so
she's endorsing it, then it's like, oh, I got it.
So after that was when it was just pouring, man.
Yeah.
Everybody was hitting me up. Everybody was DMing me, emailing me, calling me. Hey, what is this Always Ready Meals that I see Chris Cyborg posting?
Yeah.
What is it about? What do you guys offer? What do you guys do? So I truly believe that in the MMA world, she was definitely the person that kind of helped me be where I am today.
Yeah.
And I've been able to build a really awesome relationship with her.
Yeah.
I've been able to get to know her, not the persona that you see on TV,
but the person,
but who she is as a person.
Yeah.
And she's a very awesome lady. She's super loving, caring. Yeah. We have a really good relationship. Actually, her last fight, She fought, I believe, in Brazil.
Yeah.
So she's doing boxing now.
Yeah.
And I didn't work with. I did her previous 4 camps.
Yeah.
But this last one we didn't do because she wasn't in town.
Yeah, she was in Brazil.
So, she slapped the logo on all her gear.
Oh, that's sick.
And dude, when I saw that, like, I kid you not, I was super pumped up.
Yeah.
And it was just a reminder. And I was like, wow, like that shows me that she appreciates what I've done for her.
Yeah.
And it all came back full circle because I didn't ask her to do that. And I kid you not, those little things that people do in return, where you don't ask them to slap the logo on the shorts or the banner, those things are what pumps me up the most. Yeah. You know, because as far as the food and what I do, again, like I've told you, I think that I always execute. I make no excuses. Yeah. And so, again, she gets paid to have all these sponsorships on her shorts and everything, and she just threw it on there. We didn't work this camp. So to me, again, it's little things like that remind me, keep pushing, keep going, you know, because people do value what you do. And you know, it's an awesome thing to help people stay in shape, you know, stay in shape year round. So that's kind of the MMA story and how I got into it. Yeah. And here we are now. You know, Tony asked if I was interested in placing the logo in the octagon. Yeah. In 2019, I made a little picture, and it was the octagon. I don't know if you've seen me post it, but a picture of the octagon, and I slapped my Always Ready Meals logo on it. Yeah. So it's a long-term goal of mine that I wanted to achieve. Yeah. And you know, it's not the UFC, it's not Bellator, it's not a big league, but the reality is that I put that thought and that idea in my head. Yeah. And I saw it happen. Yeah, you know, it's awesome. There. So again, a lot of those things and everything that you see me do, it's things that I've visioned, it's things that I've written down, it's things that I've drawn, that like made little drawings on my phone. Yeah. I'm like a vision. How do you call it?
A visionary?
Visionary, or like I see something that I'm like, man, like in a few years that can be achieved. Yeah. You know, that's doable if I continue to work.
Yeah, a lot of people have like, you know, they call it their vision board, which is like things that they want to do that they like post on the wall or whatever. What people don't understand is like, is it, at one point it's just going to be like some pictures on the wall they forget about and you don't even look at. But if you're constantly thinking about the things that you want and you're actively working towards them, you're going to get there eventually. The problem is that one, people don't have that vision that they're sticking to, and 2, they don't have a plan, and 3, they're not executing, you know. So from the sound of it, you execute all the time, you know. So you put together a plan and you deliver, you know. And that's the problem with a lot of businesses as well, is that they don't deliver, you know, what they say they're going to do. And your reputation is so important in business. You know, if you have a bad reputation for, imagine it's always ready meals and your meals are never ready. Yep. You know, like, hey, where the hell's my meals at? You know, I paid you and you haven't delivered. Yeah. You know, or like the food is like not good or something is missing, then your reputation will precede you and eventually will be out of business. So you constantly have to give more than you receive, you know, in value. And the monetary rewards are going to come. But like you said, in the beginning, you have to put in a lot of effort, a lot of work. You have to give so much, and then you will receive. You know, very, very similar. You know, I didn't pay for the logo on the Spar Star promotion, but I put in a lot of work for them. You know, I promoted the hell out of that fight. Like I put on together a full production here. I had the sit down interview with the 2 fighters. I did, you know, commercials for them. I went to the fighters camps and interviewed their coaches and did a fight montage. You know, I did the podcast for all of them, and, you know, and I didn't ask for a penny.
Well, that's how I saw your name come up prior to even being in touch. Yeah. I saw them posting your podcast and your personal page, and I saw you doing all the interviews and everything that you were doing. I had no idea what it was, but I was like, man, like I know that guy, you know, I know who he is. So that's really awesome as well. The fact that, you know, I mean, you're pretty much running the whole operation as far as production and all. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I had my team of people. Like I pay my people that work with me. You know, I was paying for advertising for them. Like I was investing. You know, you call that investment. Like like when you see Chris Cyborg and she's one of your clients, and it's an investment, and then the return it comes back, tenfold.
Yeah.
So it's that giver's gain, the law of the universe,
Yeah, and at times you have to kind of take your emotion out of it.
Yeah.
Because maybe in the giving moment you're not seeing any return.
Yeah.
But if you're playing the long game, longevity, which is what I call always ready meals.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going into year 7, 8 since I started cooking any meals whatsoever. Yeah. And I'm here for the long run, man. I don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
I don't have a side gig.
Yeah.
I've been doing this since I quit my job at Gold's Gym in October of 2016.
Yeah.
This is my only paycheck.
Yeah.
This is what I do every single week since then.
Yeah.
And up until recently, which I shared with you that I have weekends off now.
Yeah.
I worked every single Sunday.
Yeah.
So my buddies actually used to call me Tom Brady because Tom Brady shows up on Sundays and he wins.
Yeah.
So, and I named my dog Brady after Tom Brady. So I love Tom Brady. I love his work ethic.
Yeah.
That's why I say I'm always posting, let's go.
Yeah.
I got that from him as well.
That's awesome.
And just little things like that pump me up,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you have to think long term, because even back then, how I told you, my mindset was maybe not what it is today. And I felt like, man, what's the point in giving these athletes free food if I'm not going to see anything in return?
Yeah.
But when you're playing the long-term game, you say, it's okay. Let me take care of this person. Let me take care of that person. And in hopes that maybe long-term it'll be beneficial for you, for yourself, and for the brand as well,
Yeah.
And it's hit or miss, but again, I don't like to call it sponsorships because I want to build a relationship with people.
Yeah.
Sponsorships, they come and go.
Yeah.
You get a sponsor for a fight, and then the next one you're finding another one, and then and so on. So another thing that we can touch on is that a lot of these athletes that you see on my page, I've been working with them for 4, 5, 6, 7 fights.
Yeah.
So it's not a one-time thing.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that not only am I giving a good product, a good service, but I'm building a relationship with the athlete. Because at the end of the day, if maybe the product is good, but you don't like the owner, or you don't like the brand or whatever it is, like you have to be likable. You have to show these people who you are. Because again, sponsorships. Maybe you do a sponsorship because you need the help. But maybe you don't believe in the product. So before I work with anybody, I always say, hey man, try the food. Try out the food. If you like it, if you think you could eat this every single day, because you want to enjoy, you want to enjoy the process. You want to enjoy the food. If you're not a fan of the food and you're just looking for a sponsor, there's no point on us working together.
Right.
That's always been my mindset with this. But if you enjoy the food, you like the product, you like what I'm doing, what I'm building, the community, the brand, then let's work long term. And that's what I tell everybody. Like I don't benefit from working with you for one event, one fight. Like I want to work with you throughout the year because I want to build a relationship. I want you to know that I'm always ready. That the food is ready. How we execute, it's always there. It's always on time. There's no excuses. So again, if a world champion like Chris Cyborg isn't getting the full benefits of how I go about not only the food, but again, being on time, the food being there, she's not going to work with me another camp.
Yeah. I mean, they say how you do things is how you do things, and I've seen Chris Cyborg train for her fight. She's a freaking monster, dude. And for her, when she cuts down, because has so much freaking muscle, it's really hard for her to cut down. And I've seen her like almost passing out, like in the sauna. Like, so she is dedicated as hell. She is disciplined as hell. So for her to align herself with you says a lot about you. So like this guy's just as disciplined. This guy's just as committed as she is. And it's a representation of both of you. If she's promoting you, she is putting her stamp on your brand and on your product, and vice versa. You're putting your stamp on her. Like this is the type of person that I want to work with. One, she's an elite top level champion. Her mindset is like freaking sharp as hell, and she's dedicated as hell, and she's always ready to fight too.
Once that opportunity came, I knew the type of people that I wanted to work with long term. So up until her, it was kind of like again, hit or miss. But once she came and the way that she does things and how she executes, I mean, it was super easy to work with her. And the way that she does everything, it's championship caliber level. Like it's up there. So once I got that experience, it showed me a lot about, I was at a point where maybe I didn't really know exactly what I was doing, and I didn't value myself or the brand. But once she came around and the way she went about everything, I realized that these are the type of people that I want to work with. Because I have a championship mentality. You know, I tell myself every single day, again, I don't know if you've seen this, but every day, good or bad, I say, I am a champion. I am the best. A lot of what I do is just things that I put in my head.
They call them affirmations. You know, they're little phrases that are feeding your subconscious, that are, you know, putting you in the right frequency. You know, because you can easily turn that phrase opposite. You know, what's the opposite? I'm a loser. You know, I don't do things good. And then now your frequency, which is your vibration of your body, is negative, and people don't want to be around that, and you're going to make a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the reason why, you know, affirmations, positive ones work is because you are feeding your subconscious mind, you know, and you're building up your self-belief and your self-worth. And one thing that you talked about is, you know, valuing yourself. I was watching, I think it was on Facebook. It was like some post about this violin player who was in some train station somewhere in Europe, and he was playing for like 4 hours, and maybe 2 or 3 people stopped by, listened to him and stuff. They gave him a few dollars and stuff, and he played for a long time, and then he left. And that same night he played, he was actually a world famous piano player. He was playing a $3 million violin.
Wow.
His violin was $3 million, and he was playing one of the most intricate you know, musical pieces known to violinists, like something that's ridiculously hard. And he went that same night and he played with the orchestra, where the tickets were completely sold out, and they were like averaging $200 a ticket. So the guy's a multimillionaire, and, you know, he was in a place that he wasn't valued. You know, people didn't know what they were listening to. They didn't know what they were seeing. They didn't know what was in front of them. He knew what his value is, but he wanted to prove a point that you have to go where you're valued, you know, so you have to have self-belief, self-worth, and value yourself, and surround yourself with people that actually see that potential in you, you know, because if you keep on surrounding yourself with people that talk shit, you know, that are negative, that are like, oh, you're not your stupid little business, or like, what, are you still doing that thing? Like, man, fuck them. You know, you got to be around people that are either supporting you, are encouraging you, or providing value to you. If you're not doing one of those 3 things in my life, get the hell out of my way. You know, I'm not following anybody. I'm leading my life, my journey. And either we're growing together, we're helping each other out, or we're providing some kind of mutual value that's going to help us grow. You know, the mastermind concept really works, you know, because there's certain things that other people have that they're really good at that maybe you don't. And when you collaborate with these people, you bring the best out of each other, and you create a whole nother person, you know? So building something big, long-term, that's successful is going to require more than one person. It's going to require you know, a machine that's well-oiled and that's running smoothly on a system. So you have your employees, you need to have to be able to rely on them. You know, you need to make sure, like, you're only one person. If you have a shitload of clients, like, you can't cook for every single person on Sunday now. Now you have to have a business. You have to hire people. You have to make sure you're hiring the right people, make sure they're not stealing from you. You got to encourage them. You got to provide a value for them. You know, sure, you're paying them, but they also have to feel like they're part of something. You know, the hardest part for most business owners is finding the right people to work with. You know, both employees, partnerships, vendors, everything is constantly changing. And you're dealing with a lot of competition. You're dealing with a lot of things that are not in your control. And you have to always focus on the things that you can control, which is your attitude, your mindset, and your activity. What the hell are you doing? You know, are you executing or are you not? Other things you can't really control. The pandemic, you know, people didn't expect that. You know, so many businesses went out because, like, who could have expected that? But how are you going to respond in those tough times? So one thing that I wanted to talk about, we haven't really dug deep into it, but you started very, very humbly. Like you said, it was a truck driver that asked you to cook a couple meals for him, and you saw it as an opportunity to get your own food paid for. And then you started from there. And I know before we hit record on these cameras, you were telling me a little bit about, when you started, you were pretty much crashing on a friend's couch and using his kitchen,
Yeah.
So I want you to go into that story a little bit and tell us how, or what was the catalyst to make you believe in yourself and make you turn this into what it is now.
So I came to California at the age of 5, and again, I was born in Guatemala City.
Yeah.
Came here at the age of 5. And I want to touch back on that because I truly believe that as a kid, I believe that like I was a champion. I felt like my parents loved me.
Yeah.
I felt like I grew up with a lot of love. And, you're in a new city, a new state, a new world, pretty much. Yeah. I didn't speak English at the time.
Yeah.
So it was very hard for me to learn the language or even attending school. It was very difficult. But something that helped me was that roughly around the age of 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Again, this was a year and a half into being in SoCal.
Yeah.
I started to worship at church.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, and this church, at some point, maybe over 5,000, 7,000 people.
Jesus.
In one service.
What church is this?
The church is called Una voz que clama en el desierto.
That's the name of the church?
That's the name of the church.
Damn, sounds like a band name or something.
And it's a church that was here in LA off Wilshire.
Yeah.
In downtown LA.
Yeah.
But my parents actually didn't know that I was going to go up on stage and sing. And
really?
I have footage of this as well. I can show you.
Dang,
so
bro.
Again, just as a little kid, I was always like a go-getter. I wasn't afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Thinking back now, as far as the journey and how I started, again, because a little kid in front of a lot of people, you're going to feel uncomfortable or maybe scared.
Insecurities, like
none of that. None of that for me.
No fear whatsoever.
No fear whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so at some point, I probably knew about 30 worship songs.
Yeah.
Where back then it was like a little cassette that you just kind of give to the.
How old are you, by the way?
33.
33. Oh, we're pretty much the same age. I'm 34.
Yeah.
So people don't know what cassettes are, bro.
Yeah.
VHS. They're like, what's that?
Yeah. So that I would have my mom buy me those.
Yeah.
And I would just practice at home.
Yeah.
And, to actually have that happen, you have to be very persistent because they already have like their chorus, their choir, the people that sing and worship. And
now
so
this little kid wants to get on stage.
So I was like, who's this kid? We're not interested.
Yeah.
But I think I was friends with someone and I was just pushing.
Yeah.
And it was a prayer going on. And next thing you know, I'm on stage.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of like, what is going on? So I have footage of that, and I want to show you that because that this song that I have, it saved my life years later.
Yeah.
So for 2 to 3 years, I kept doing the whole worship thing and attending church, and then my biological father left. So roughly around the age of 7 or 8.
Yeah.
He decided to go back to Guatemala.
Yeah.
And
did he just bounce on you guys, or was like, I'm gonna go back and work over there?
He actually had another family.
Oh shit! So he just bounced.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he told us.
Yeah.
I knew. I mean, at that point, I was already well aware of what was going on.
Yeah.
He explained to me that he was leaving. I didn't know why at the time.
Yeah.
But later on, I found out. He had another family. He had kids. So him attending church. They actually started attending church shortly, a little before I came to the U.S.
Yeah.
So it was all new to them.
Yeah.
So for him, it was like, I need to do things right. What I'm doing isn't right. I need to go back to my family. And that was that.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So back then, roughly about the time that he left, I completely stopped singing.
Yeah.
Because I think it took a toll on me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're a little kid, essentially. And I'm sure that was a traumatic event. You know, you're losing you're essentially lost your father, even though he's still alive. You lost him. People don't understand that when people leave, if you have a relationship and that person leaves, it's the same feeling as if they would have like died almost. Yeah. You know, it's like you're losing a part of your life. And when you're so little, you haven't really learned how to cope with your emotions. You're very vulnerable to a lot of different things. You can slip into depressions, you can slip into suicidal ideation and suicidal thoughts, and even some kids even commit suicide, when they're very little. They're bullied or their parents are always fighting or something. And what people don't know is that your childhood really, really impacts your life in a major, major way.
Absolutely.
And once you get into adulthood, if you don't fix those issues, they always come back. They're going to constantly come back and creep up in your life.
Yeah. So I think my mom did a really good job at playing, both roles as a father and a mom. Yeah. Because to be honest with you, you just touched on all of those things. I didn't deal with any of that until I was an adult, because I believe that maybe as a kid, my mom just didn't allow me to feel any of that. Yeah. She gave me a lot of love, a lot of attention. Good. So I had to ignore that, right away. Yeah. But again, I didn't have time to heal from that. Yeah. So I faced these demons and these things that you talk about, anxiety and depression, and a lot of like people pretty much dying and not healing from that. People that you have been in your life at some point, and then they disappear. They're not dead, but they disappear. They're gone. Yeah. So same thing that you mentioned. So, I felt like I was always a champion from the beginning. Yeah. And, my mom did a really good job at just being there for me. And so I started to sell like chocolate bars at church, at school. And so I felt like being a business owner, entrepreneur, like it was something that was always in me. Yeah. From a young age. Mm-hmm. At one point, this is just hilarious, but we used to live in Inglewood, and it was a duplex. Mm-hmm. And maybe I had roughly maybe about 5-7 kids in like surround, like my neighbors or that lived in the front house. Mm-hmm. And so at one point I actually even had the kids, because I was the oldest. Yeah. I had the kids like sell the chocolates for me. So it was like a whole operation.
You're a little drug kingpin with chocolates.
Yeah. So, dude, it's crazy. But somewhere after that was probably when I was like 9 or 10. Yeah. And then from 10 to maybe 25, I completely just lost myself. Yeah. So I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just going with the punches, going through a lot of things in my personal life. Yeah. And I lost that kid that I once knew. Yeah. So that kid was left behind in the dust.
The entrepreneur with no fear.
That and just a happy kid. Again, I think my mom did a really good job at not really showing that my dad was gone. Yeah. But I remember just being happy. Yeah. I remember being a happy kid. Yeah. A kid that could light up a room, a kid that would worship in front of thousands, and and a likable kid. Yeah. Somebody that people always enjoyed having around. Yeah. Somebody that was always smiling. Mm-hmm. So since then, again, I felt like I lost that kid. And a lot of what has helped me, I kid you not, maybe over the last year or 2 years, is reminding myself of that kid, being a kid, not getting caught up in all this business and being an adult and having to focus on your finances, on everything, because it all takes a toll on you. Yeah. But reminding yourself to truly be a kid, to be happy, to be full of joy, to enjoy everything, as hard as it may be. Yeah. And so I found footage of this tape of me singing at church. Mm-hmm. And this song, man, it's just crazy to me. It's a story, again, how I met you 7 years ago. Yeah. Here we are today. It's crazy how when I was 7, 8 years old, I was singing this worship song. Yeah. And years later, now in my 30s, I found a footage of it. It's on YouTube.
Of you?
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't like you had it, you found it, someone else posted it or something?
My mom sent it to me and she said, "Oh, look what I found. It's on YouTube." Okay. So it's me singing at the church, and you can see me as a little kid, and you could actually see the people at the church, and the church was packed. Yeah. So this video, at the time, I needed to see this.
Yeah.
Because it brought back that message that God put in my heart as a kid.
Yeah.
I needed to listen to today, that day. And it's crazy how that happens, because that video reminded me of the journey, how I lost myself in the world, and trying to prove something to the world, when in reality, again, just be a kid, be yourself, love yourself. There's nothing to prove. Eventually, those people that value you and appreciate you and care about you, they will show you. And that was that. So
that's awesome, man. Would you mind sharing what was going on in your life at that time that you needed that message?
Yeah. So you talked about people passing away and being dead, even though they're technically still alive. And I was in a relationship at the time where I was dating someone who had a baby girl.
Oh, okay.
So two individuals in my life had kind of started like my own little family. And it didn't work out. So I was raising a child, and from one day to another, I needed to literally, well, not one day to another, but over time, I needed to come to the conclusion that this relationship wasn't working out. And it was best for me to leave. But I stuck around because as a kid, my dad left me.
It brought back those feelings of abandonment.
I didn't want to do the same thing to somebody else.
I see.
So I had to really dig deep and start to pray and ask God for guidance. And because I felt like, man, I can't do that. But I also didn't want to stay in a relationship where long term I knew that I wasn't happy.
And that's a tough situation to be in, and I'm sure a lot of people can connect to that. And resonate with it. And to be honest, personally, the most growth I've ever experienced in my life has always come after major heartache and heartbreak, specifically relationships, most recently my divorce, I went through divorce as well. And I had 2 stepkids and a little dog, and I was a husband, a stepdad, and then it feels like, I know how you said, like, overnight, it feels that way, even though you kind of know it's coming, this needs to end. You are holding on to some hope, and you don't want it to, because you're going to go through that feeling of that family's dead. I lost my kids. I lost my wife. I lost my, you feel lost, because in your head, when you're with someone, you envision all these things that are going to happen. Oh, we're going to, get married. We're going to have kids. We're going to have a home. We're going to have a future. We're going to build a business there. We're going to do all these things together, and we're going to be together forever. And you make this story in your head, so big, and you truly love the person, and I'm sure you loved was it a girl, the daughter?
Okay. It was a girl. It was tough, because this was a girl, a baby girl that I brought along everywhere with me. So we talk about the gyms, the MMA. She was coming along everywhere. So a lot of the relationships that I built over the years, mind you, I never went into detail that she wasn't my daughter. She wasn't my blood. I always introduce her as my daughter.
Right.
But from one day to another, hey, where's the little girl? Where's
every
your
time
daughter?
you go is they ask you
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's tough.
I can resonate with you that feeling of loss, and that feeling of where do I go now? What do I do? And in that pain and that suffering is usually where most people they do one of 2 things. They either become a victim, like we talked, they become a loser and they just give up, or they use it as a catalyst to grow. They use that pain, they turn it around, they transmute it into something positive, into energy, into something that is going to allow them to live the life that they really want. And that's something that I see you're doing and have done. And that's something that I'm personally doing and I'm going through. After that situation that I went through, my life completely transformed. It was flipped upside down, and then I just flipped it back, to something different. And then now I'm following my vision and my purpose, and I see you doing that as well. So that's crazy how life turns out sometimes,
Yeah, and I think it's a reminder too that your dreams are not everybody else's dreams.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
it's hard, but that scenario, and there's been a couple where I truly had to dig deep and ask myself, man, like, how bad do I really want this?
Yeah.
You know, I've never talked about this. And again, I shared with you off camera that I just wasn't in a place where I felt comfortable enough to talk about this because I was still going through all the emotions and things to heal. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I didn't do podcasts prior, because I wanted to make sure that once I did it, I was telling the truth. You know, and not having to lie. I wanted to be myself. You know, I want to share my story, and I want it to be what it is and not hold back from anything. And so I'm in a place now, in a really good place, where I can share that story. By the way, this happened, you know, this happened COVID year in 2020, like December. So it's been 2 years. You know, it's been 2 years since, but I had to really dig deep. And the last 2 years is where I was able to take Always Ready Meals to the next level. So I was able to just, again, I had to ask myself, because it was such a shitty situation, but what good did I learn from it all? What was the good? What was the value that I got from it? Because
what was it?
Regardless, it was to be a kid, man. I reminded myself that that this baby girl she was somebody that maybe at the time understood who I was. Gave me unconditional love. Somebody that always pushed me forward, regardless of the scenarios going on at home. I knew that I could count on her. And I've had people like her in my life. I have a little sister as well, who growing up, my little sister made me feel that way. And again, I think that's who I am. I think I am that little kid that can make people feel good, that can love people, that can show people that I care. So all along, I was looking for that kid again. And so that's what I learned from that scenario. And, you know, I went through anxiety, depression, you know, a lot of thoughts in your head, because you're so caught up on the, man, that wasn't right. That wasn't cool. Or how is this going to affect her? How is she going to grow up? You know, but again, you focus on the things that you can personally control. And the rest is history. You know, you pray to God and wish them the best. And I was able to find that kid again, man, that joy. You know, it took a while, but I got back in the gym. Mentally, the things that I put myself through to make myself feel good are insanity. It's crazy.
Explain.
Just kind of like, this is why I'm so into MMA. I shared with you that I was never really big into the sport. But when COVID happened, it was the only sport that was showing live. And so after that, I was interested in more so like, okay, you're a mixed martial artist, but what is that? I want to see it. Again, because I'm like more of a visualized person. So I wanted to see, what is this about? Or what do they do when they train? So I grew up playing soccer, so I know what a soccer practice is. I know what it takes to get ready for a soccer game. I know what it is to play a soccer match. I know what it is to win, to lose, to tie. I know that feeling. I didn't know the feeling of a fighter, of a mixed martial artist. So I went to go see a couple practices, and I realized, like, man, there's more levels to just what you see on Saturday or Sunday, or what you see fight night. You know, there's a lot of adversity, a lot of things that these individuals go through that nobody will ever know. And the only way that you'll know is if you're Alex, you come along, you're helping them with a service, and you build the relationship. The relationship where a lot of these individuals reminded me that they're just like me. They're also going through breakups, through hardships, through relationships, through obstacles, injuries. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's a lot of dark times that you have to go through in order for you to show up on fight day and perform and win.
It's there is no light without the darkness, and there is no darkness without the light. They need each other, So part of this life's journey is to go through those moments, and to be honest, you can't avoid them sometimes. They're almost a necessity. So once you learn to be grateful for your life, to be grateful for the good and the bad, then you can kind of let go of all of these feelings of woe is me, of anxiety and depression, because you realize like you're grateful even for the bad shit. Like as crazy as it sounds, some of the worst thing that's ever happened in my life, I see them as a blessing in disguise.
It's like at the given time, you have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
But when you look back, you said, man, that's the best thing that could have happened to me.
Yeah.
And if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
But it's hard to understand in the given time.
Oh yeah, it's really hard
because
you're hurting.
You're hurting, and you just, your mind is all over the place.
Yeah.
You get stuck in a very dark place. But I think something that helps is like once you've been through that darkness once, I think the second time around you can cope with it better.
Yeah, that's when you become a mentor to people.
Yeah.
The reason why, it is so important to have someone guiding you in your life is because they've experienced life, and they have so much wisdom that they can give you when you're going through it. So I have some very special relationships with people that I go to on certain times and certain moments. Like I said, it's so important to have a mastermind, a group of like-minded individuals that you can collaborate with on different things. So when I was in the pits of my depression and anxiety, I had just a few people that I can go to, and they would tell me the right things that I needed to hear at that time to help me snap out of it, And another thing that you mentioned is, how that little girl, showed you unconditional love and brought joy to your life. You need to do that for yourself too. You need to be kind to yourself. You need to, most of the times people don't really listen to what they're telling themselves. Like, do you hear are you even a friend to yourself? Do you like yourself?
Yeah.
Why would you say that shit about you? Like, oh, you and people just do it out of second nature. Like, damn it, you're so dumb. Why'd you do that? And they're talking to themselves. Or like, man, why'd you do that? Like, you're never going to, like, they're talking to themselves in a bad way.
Or at times it's thoughts and ideas that you've heard from other people.
That too.
That bring you down.
Yeah.
Eventually you start to believe those lies.
Yeah.
And you start saying them to yourself.
Yeah.
So you always have to constantly remind yourself to love yourself.
Yeah.
To value yourself, to know that you are the man, you are a champion, you are the best, because maybe you won't be the best for anybody else, but as long as you're the best for yourself and those people around you, you're on the way.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love all of this. I think it's very important message that people listen to and apply in their life. Just one of the concepts that you're saying, if someone applies it in their life, they will see a dramatic change, in everything. And the interactions you have with your friends, with your family, with your coworkers, with your business partnerships. If one thing that I tell people all the time, like every single time I have a communication or a conversation with someone, I want them to leave feeling positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feeling happy, feeling excited.
Yeah.
Because that is your reputation. If people leave feeling like, man, that guy's an arrogant prick, or, I don't like that guy, he's creepy or whatever, then that becomes your reputation. And, you're not going to live a good life if people don't like you.
Yeah.
If they don't, because we are humans. We are a highly evolved species of primate that like to, find answers in things and like to find patterns and like to connect with other humans and like to solve problems. Like, when something's wrong, like I want to figure out the problem. Like, how can I help this person? How can I do this? How can I do that? And you need others to do that. You can't do everything yourself. So it is very important for anyone that is an aspiring whatever you are.
Yeah.
You're an MMA fighter. You can be start your own meal prep company. You could be a videographer, photographer. You can have a nail business. You can have whatever the hell you want to do. You have to be good at communication. You have to be good at relationships, and you have to learn all of these things in life, because if you don't, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah.
You're just going to repeat the same mistakes and the same patterns over and over again.
You mentioned like leaning on a few people that were around you when you were going through things. I think that is, again, something that maybe a lot of people don't talk about. I didn't do any of that because I felt like I was alone. Yeah. I felt like, actually I knew that at the time I wasn't capable of explaining what I felt.
Yeah.
So even trying to comprehend inside my head what I was trying to say or what I was feeling, I couldn't go to anybody because I felt that they wouldn't listen, they wouldn't care, they wouldn't understand, whatever it may be. So then you bubble your thoughts and your depression and your anxiety, and you feel super alone.
Yeah.
And something that you need to remind yourself of is that a lot of the times the answer is right by you.
Yeah.
You know, there's people there.
Yeah.
Whether it's a friend or a family member, where again, you just have to know how to communicate.
Yeah.
And let somebody know, like, just forget about what they're gonna say, you know, good or bad. But hey, man, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel okay. I don't know what's going on. I need help.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of the times I think the hardest part is asking for help.
Yeah.
It's like in the gym, when people come in the gym, they want to lose weight, you know, I used to tell people this, like, the fact that you already walked in the door, you've already won. You're already committed. Now let's make a plan and let's dig deep and not forget why you walked in the door. Because there's a lot of people that don't even walk through that door. Because they're so afraid, you know, they feel so alone. So you need to remind yourself. And again, I started the Always Ready Meals family in a point in my life where I felt very alone. And I didn't have the support of my family. I didn't have the support of my friends. Now, fast forward years later, now, I kid you not, over the last 6 months, I've had the most support through the journey from everybody around me. And it feels amazing. But it was something that I needed to go and get. You know, something that maybe I wanted for a very long time. But, you know, you also become like, your ego and your pride sometimes hold you back. Like, man, why should I make that phone call? Why should I reach out? You know, why don't they come visit me? And it's like, get rid of all of that and put in 300% effort. When you put in 300% effort towards all of that, eventually people are going to be there. People will put in their efforts and they will understand. So, you know, now my family, my parents, my mom, my sisters, I feel like we're very close.
That's good.
But all along through the journey, I felt very alone. And it was literally not being able to communicate, not being able to express what I was going through, what I was feeling, and just saying, like, man, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing, you know, and I need help. Or I need somebody to talk to. And it goes back to being honest with yourself. Because once you can be honest, once you can look in the mirror and be honest with yourself, it's a lot easier to be honest with everybody else.
Right.
You know? And so, you know, letting people around you letting them know that you're going through a hard time, communicating. Man, communicating is the key. It's probably like at the top of the list with everything, man. And it's something that I don't think they teach you in school. Something that a lot of people don't really know how to go about. And it's something that got me through a lot of scenarios in life where they could have probably been fixed, but I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to express myself. And it takes time, you know, but where there's a will, there's a way. And anybody can learn how to communicate, but I think it's getting rid of that fear of, man, like, I don't want to be judged, or I don't, you know, and just having that mindset, honestly, like, who cares? Who cares what anybody says, you know? Everybody has different opinions, different thoughts, different ideas. That's just how you feel about things. And you know, to each their own.
I'm going to be putting together some online courses on a bunch of different subjects. And one of them is going to be a communication course, you know, because it's some people, they're so talented, so skilled in specific things, but their communication skills are horrible. You know, their interpersonal skills are horrible. You know, their emotional intelligence is not all that great, and they can do so much better if they knew some simple things, you know, on how to communicate, how to listen, how to be understood, how to emote, you know, how to capture people's attention. All of these things, they can be taught, you know, they can be taught. It's not something that's like you said, if there's a will, there's a way. Every answer to your problem is out there. You have to look for it. One thing that I wanted to say is, like, when you were talking about, you know, sponsors, that you weren't, you know, DMing people and all that. Like I tell people all the time, you're looking for people that are looking for you. You're just delivering your product. You're delivering on your vision. You're going on your journey, and the people that you're looking for are technically looking for you. There's someone out there that wants to, you know, they need meal prep, there's someone out there that wants to connect with you, whatever you want to do, whether it's even a relationship, that relationship that you want, someone else wants that too. And they're out there, and your job is to be ready for when that opportunity arrives. I'm ready. I've been ready.
Yeah. Because if you were to run into, let's say Dwayne Johnson,
The Rock,
you want to make sure that you're ready.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. You're excited. You're pumped up. You're not going to meet Dwayne Johnson just, hey, what's up, man? Like, I'm okay. No, man. Like, what's up, dude? I'm a fan. How are you? What's good? How you feeling? Yeah. You want to be the best version of yourself always. Yeah. And that's hard to do, So I think that you need to learn. And again, everything that I'm sharing with you, honestly, it's maybe things that I've learned over the last few years. Yeah. But I don't think I started to really put the puzzle together, the pieces together until like the last year, where I had to really dig deep and even ask myself, do I really want this? Yeah. Because I'm all over SoCal. I mean, every gym you can think of has tried Always Ready meals. Yeah. Thousands of people in SoCal have tried Always Ready meals. Yeah. But there's a lot more that I still feel like I haven't accomplished.
Yeah. That was actually going to be my next question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what is your vision, your long-term goal for Always Ready meals, and for yourself? What are your goals?
So I think over the last 7 years, I created a blueprint. Yeah. And it took a very long time, and, to the point where maybe it took that long because, again, I needed to truly believe in myself, because even though I was doing the work and I was showing up, there was still a lot of things where I would hold back. So I needed to dig deep and ask myself, why did I start this in the first place? Yeah. Because through the journey, I kind of, personal things happen. And even though you keep going, sometimes you completely lose yourself. Yeah. But your why, why did you start this in the first place? In the beginning, I didn't start Always Ready meals or selling meals, more so than I just wanted to help people. Yeah. I wanted to show people that they could be shredded like me, look good like me, have a six pack, be healthy, and bring value, bring them a service that at the time, honestly, I think meal prep started around that time as well. Yeah. Like meal prep is a business that I think started in like 2013, 2014. Yeah, well,
it's a fairly new business,
So, over the years, I've just been creating a blueprint where, again, it took 7 years to get here. Yeah. And now I can kind of pay that forward to where if somebody calls me and they want to start a meal prep company, I don't think it should take them 7 years to get to where I'm at. Yeah. But again, I had to put in 7 years of work. And
so you're going to be franchising Always Ready Meals? Is that what you're saying?
The goal for Always Ready Meals is to continue to change lives. Yeah. I think this is just, it's like my first baby. Yeah. And I know that it's opened up a lot of doors for me. Yeah. And I really don't know what's next, but I've always wanted to do like a nationwide shipping. Yeah. Where we could do something like that. And again, now I'm in Costa Mesa, right behind John Wayne Airport. Yeah. Right by planes.
Throw those meals in the planes, bro.
So the vision of seeing that, it's like, it's doable. Yeah. Because I'm seeing it, it's like having the logo inside the UFC octagon. Yeah. I just saw it inside Sparstar. Yeah. Like something that I drew out years ago. Yeah. I actually got to witness and see. So now, and again, I know that there's other meal prep companies that work with the UFC. Yeah. I've seen a couple of them go over the years, they come and go. So it's something that is doable. Yeah. So long-term goals, I want to change lives. That's the bottom line. Yeah. I want to get Always Ready meals to everybody. Yeah. I want to show everybody that it's different, what it is, what we're about, family from people all over the world that are just looking to live a healthier lifestyle. That's all it is. So I want to do nationwide shipping. Yeah. I've always had goals of franchising. Yeah. But I want to make sure that I've only had the shop for a year now. Yeah. So I want to make sure that I really know that everything about it, what it takes. Yeah. What it takes, because again, even though I've been doing this for a few years now, I've only had the shop for a year. Yeah. And I kid you not, it's like picture a kid wanting to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So like to me, it's like I always wanted this shop, a storefront. Now I have it. Now I'm at Disneyland. But now, you know, once you get to Disneyland, you want to get on all the rides.
Right.
And sometimes you just don't have the time to do so. Yeah. You can't get on all the rides. So you leave and you're bummed out. So now there's a lot of things that I'm going through that I never had to deal with in the past.
Right.
Very difficult things that, you know, I'll give you an example. Like I've been having a lot of plumbing issues at the building.
Yeah.
And I've never had to deal with that because I didn't have my own space before.
Yeah.
You know, now I have this, my dad says it's not a problem. There's a solution to everything.
Yeah.
But if you see things as problems, then they will always be problems.
Right.
So you have to see all these scenarios and things that happen in life. Like there's a solution to it.
Right.
And I was listening to a podcast recently with Kobe Bryant. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of him. Yeah. And he literally talked about this where he says he'll write down maybe the scenarios or the problems.
Yeah.
But he'll say, okay, well, I'll fix this by doing this.
Yeah.
I'll do this. And I think he created a show called Detailed where he goes into detail with like players in the NBA. Wow. And he'll say like, you know, this guy is really good at this. He's good at A, B, C, and D. But if he does this, he can improve here. If he does that, you know. So there's always a solution to every single problem. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, where it's like, okay, cool. Always Ready Meals is good. It's going. It's pushing forward. But there's little things that I'm facing now that nobody knows. Yeah. But again, when it comes to what I do and the service that I provide, I don't allow any of that to stop me. Yeah. You know, and the journey, learning the journey, reminding yourself what you've been through and making sure that you remember all of those times where you weren't at Disneyland. Yeah. Because to me, the shop is literally a kid at Disneyland. Yeah. Like I love it, man. Like the space that I have, the storage, the office, the commercial grade ovens, the commercial fridge, the freezer. It's like everything that was always so difficult for me to do on a Sunday.
Yeah, now it's like you said, like
now it's easy.
You're in Disneyland.
But now I have other problems.
Yeah, more money, more problems, bro.
Yep. So, you know, I want to franchise.
Yeah.
I definitely want to. I know I have the potential to do so. Yeah. I see a lot of other brands doing it already. Yeah. You see a lot of meal prep restaurants nowadays. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's more and more.
And the silly thing to me is that everything that they're doing, I've already thought about 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, they're just already there.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about them or anybody else. I'm just literally focused on Always Ready Meals. Yeah. And I'm just going to keep pushing, keep doing what I need to do to get there. So
that's beautiful.
I want to do that. I one day I really want to, whether it's the UFC or like something big like that, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
It's just something that I love.
Yeah.
I love everything about MMA.
Yeah.
I respect it a lot. I know the work that goes into that. And honestly, if I would have found MMA 10 years ago, I think I probably would have became a fighter myself.
That's sick, man.
Because
same here, but I got too many back issues and knees and shoulder problems.
No, it's crazy. I have a lot of injuries too, but just having that no quit mentality, that championship mentality, I think that's what got me to where I am today. Yeah. You know, just a no quit mentality. Don't throw in the towel. Yeah. And there's times where those thoughts, they come. Yeah. They come, you know, those bad thoughts. But you have to stay active, stay busy. Yeah. And again, I think previously when I would deal with those dark clouds, I would lock myself up in a room. Yeah. Or lock myself up in my car. And now I know that that's not okay. Because it'll only make things worse. Right. So I have to learn to open up, learn to communicate, learn to let those around me, hey, you know what? I'm not doing good right now. Yeah. And just not be afraid of being judged or thinking like, man, what are they going to do? Right. Because a lot of the times, I kid you not, up until literally the last year, I was always told as a man, men don't cry. Yeah. Men aren't supposed to express their emotions or feelings or how they feel. Yeah. You're the man of the house. You got to deal with it. You know, buckle up. It is what it is. Yeah. And I think a lot of men are we've been programmed
Yeah.
to believe those thoughts and those ideas that people along the way have told us. And that's not true, man. Like, we're human beings.
Right.
We're supposed to open up, you know, we're not robots.
Yeah.
You know, we're supposed to feel, you know, yeah, you're supposed to hold down the household, hold down the business, hold down the family. But at the end of the day, man, you're a human being.
Right.
And there's times where things happen in life that are just too heavy. They're too much.
Yeah.
And it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel. It's okay to let those people around you know that, man, like, I'm just not doing good, man. What do I do?
Yeah.
You know, and if you're able to do that, the people that truly care, they're not going to judge you.
Yeah.
You know, the people that love you and that are really supposed to be in your life are the people that are going to help you push through those dark times. Yeah. You're not meant to be on earth by yourself. Yeah. Or you're not, you know, think about sports. Besides fighting, like, when you're fighting, it's obviously one-on-one.
Right.
But all the other sports, it's a team sport.
Yeah.
You know, LeBron James needs all the other 14 teammates to be a champion.
Right.
Tom Brady needs 52 guys to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that's where I am when you ask about where do you see Always Ready meals.
Yeah.
Today, I want to make sure that I surround myself with a good team.
Yeah.
A good family of hardworking individuals that can help me get to the next level.
Yeah.
Because I can easily keep doing what I'm doing, but again, LeBron James or Tom Brady, they can't become champions without a good group of people around them.
Yeah.
So now my goal is and you talked about this earlier too, about finding the right people that care, that see the vision. And honestly, over the course of the years, I think I've had maybe like roughly over 50 people that have been part of Always Ready Meals.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I don't think I will ever find the right person or the perfect person, because nobody's going to do what I do, how I do it.
Yeah.
But I think that now I'm in a place where I need to learn how to become a leader.
Yeah.
And how to teach people.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe there's individuals that may not do the job or the task how I want it to be done, but it's a work in progress. And I can teach them, I can guide them. And I think that's something that it took me a long time to understand, because I would get frustrated, like, man, like, this person isn't doing this right. Or why isn't this person caring? Or why isn't this person putting as much effort?
Yeah,
they
don't value it as much as you do.
And again,
it's like you buy a brand new car and it's like your baby. You know, you're making sure there's no scratches on it. You're taking care of it. You know, you don't eat inside of it. You know, you just bought this new car and you love it, and then you let your friend borrow it. He's not going to treat it like you did, because you put all the work to get it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? So someone that's coming in like, oh, let me borrow your car. Like, they're just eating in your car. And so like, what are you doing? Did you clean your shoes before you got in? You know, You're dragging dirt into my car. You're trying to park and scratching up the rims. Like, they don't care, you know? So, and it's human nature. You know, when you don't value something, you're not going to put in the same effort as someone that really cares about it. It's like, this is my baby. This is what I'm going to take care of. So you're right. It's going to be difficult for you to find someone that has the same exact passion as you. But what a leader does is that they bring the best out of their team.
Yeah.
You know, so you find out, right, this is what he's good at. This is how he gets motivated. This person gets motivated differently. If I yell at this person, they're going to get pissed or they're going to cry. If I yell at this person, he's going to get excited and want to do more. Like, you have to, exactly like I talk about communication, learning how to talk to people based on their personality type, based on what motivates them, based off of all that stuff. And that comes with time as well.
And I think prior through the journey, I would get frustrated because I didn't see the effort in people. But then I needed to step back a little and learn to care. Yeah. You know, like, okay, this person takes a long time at cutting chicken. Yeah. But maybe they're good at putting labels on the containers. Yeah. Or maybe they're better at cutting veggies. So putting the right people in the right place, you know, and not getting frustrated. Like, you just have to really dig deep and learn about the person. Yeah. That's, you know, what drives them, what pushes them, why are they at work? Again, it goes back to your why. Yeah. And you can't really be like self-centered. Yeah. You have to learn to get to know people. Right. And that comes with communicating. Yeah. You know, I recently had somebody at work at the kitchen, they broke down and cried. Yeah. Because I asked this question. She's actually a mom, older lady. Yeah. And I asked her, at what point, I said, can I ask you a question? She says, yeah. I said, at what point, her name is Dora. I said, at what point, Dora, can I come to you as your son? You know, I'm an adult now, and tell you, hey, Mom, you know what? I think that's not okay. Or I think there's a way to do that better. And she said, at any time, honestly, but it's how you communicate it. It's how you word it. It's how you say it.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then she broke down and started sharing stories about her life and her growing up and her dad and different scenarios that she had to go through. And this was just from me asking something that and again, I'm very open-minded now. I think, again, like how I'm sharing with you, my struggle all along was communicating. I didn't know how to communicate. I would bubble in all my emotions and how I felt. Because I didn't know how to express myself. So now I talk to everybody. And, you know, and one thing leads to another. I even have people sometimes nowadays tell me, like, man, like you never said a word. And now you're just, we can't stop talking. Yep.
That's funny, man. Well, it's been interesting, you know, seeing you evolve over the last years, because that's how I remember you, as a very quiet, reserved person. So having you here on the podcast and just, you know, flowing in your conversation is very interesting to me to see. I usually carry the conversation most of the time, but in this episode, you know, I can feel you carrying it because you have so much to share, so much to give. It's usually me that just wants to like give and give. And I'm like, oh, this guy has everything that he wants to share. So I'm letting you, you know, express that. And you're providing so much value that I think people are really going to be impacted by your story and your insight. And I definitely want to have you back on the future, you know, as your business grows. And I'm sure we'll be collaborating on a couple of projects in the future as well. I got a lot of things in the works as well as you do. And I'm really excited to see the next level of Always Ready Meals, you know, for our subscribers out there. Make sure you guys follow Alex's page at Always Ready Meals on IG. What's the handle?
Always Ready Meals.
Always Ready Meals.
Yeah.
And then
everything on all social media, it's Always Ready Meals. The website, alwaysreadymeals.com.
Awesome.
And yeah, man, I love meeting people. Again, I don't think I was ever a people's person.
Yeah.
And I was kind of always in my lane, minding my own business. I didn't really talk a lot.
Yeah.
But something that helps business and it helps grow is meeting people.
Yeah.
The more people that you know, the better.
Yeah.
And necessarily maybe not everybody that you meet is going to be of value or have something to offer, you know, but I treat everybody the same, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm very successful with working with high caliber athletes.
Yeah.
Because I treat them just like how I would treat you, my family, somebody in the street. Like they're normal human beings just like you and I.
And that's exactly what they are. You know, they're just people in this world like you and me. They go through the same emotions. They go through the same feelings. It's just they have a specific skill set and they have the right mentality to back it up and to get to the next level. And I'm sure you'll be working with more, you know, athletes and big sponsorships. And I can definitely see that logo on the UFC or Bellator or some major promotion in the future. I can see your business growing. And right now you're creating the troubleshoot manual for all your franchisees. You know, so when they go through something, there's the manual that he created. This is what you do when this goes wrong. This is what you do in this issue. And every business should have that. They should have a troubleshoot manual. When something goes wrong, there's a handbook that says, oh, shoot, you know, plumbing, what do I do? Okay. You know, business licensing. Oh, shoot, what do I do for, you know, city permits and finding the right location and, you know, creating the right lease agreement and, you know, learning how to manage the financials and all that side. There's a lot more to a business than just, you know, cooking meals or taking photos or there's a lot more to it. And, you know, I'm going to be having more and more guests on the podcast that specialize in specific skills that can teach others to help them along their journey. And I see you as someone that at one point you're going to be a master communicator, you know, and have a lot of wisdom when it comes to that. So like I said, I really want to thank you, you know, for coming on the show and sharing your story, sharing your wisdom. And is there any last message you want to leave to people out there before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, anybody tuning in, you know, life is hard for everybody, you know.
Yeah.
We're all going through something. And just always go back to your why. and why you started things, you know, because that's always going to help you overcome all those dark times and those dark clouds. Don't feel alone, man. You're not alone. I know what it's like to feel alone. And, you know, I'm just here to remind people that what you see, it's been a lot of just hard work and dedication, no quit mentality. And, you know, it's awesome to see me now go back to my family, my loved ones, you know, something that started as feeling so alone. You know, now I feel a lot of love from the fruits of the labor from individuals all over SoCal that love what I do, man. And so, you know, if you ever need to reach out, if you ever need a person to talk to, because it's all thoughts and it's all ideas. And the more that you go through those things and tell yourself that you are alone or you become a victim, you know, the more that you believe that. So you need to kind of step back a little and just remember everybody's going through something. You know, even you see the brand everywhere. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of pains, a lot of tears, a lot of dedication, a lot of things that goes into than just cooking meals and delivering, you know, and up until now, which thank God, I'm very thankful for everything that is happening. I feel like I have the right people in place. But for a while, I also wanted to quit. You know, I also wanted to give up. And I had to constantly remind myself, I am a champion. I am the best. I am a winner. You know, I want this. You know, I want to see what it's like to get to year 10, to year 15, year 20. You know, there's no plan B. So, yeah, man, if you ever need to talk, if you ever need a little pep talk, that is one of my goals as well. You know, one day I do see myself speaking to a big audience of people, sharing my story, teaching people how to be mentally everything that I do is teachable. If you want to learn it, if you want to apply it. And again, this is just my journey and what I've learned through the process. And everybody has a book. You know, and that's one of my goals too, to write a book and share the Always Ready story, share everything about it, how you have to be mentally tough to achieve anything in life.
That's beautiful, man. Well, I really look forward to all of that. I'm sure it's going to come to fruition. You have the right mindset to create your dream into a reality. And again, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you go buy some meals, meal plan from Alex and Always Ready Meals. And we'll see you guys next time.